My next guest doesn't get paid by the hour because he's coming off another first-round finish, this time at UFC Vegas 117. It is Khaos Williams joining me here on the program. Khaos, how you doing, man?
Man, pretty good, man. You know, blessed.
Could that fight have gone any better?
I mean, it could have went a little better. You know, it could a little bit better. I could have got him out a little quicker, man. But everything, it went just how I wanted it to happen. You know, like you said, we ain't getting paid by the hour. You know, we getting paid by the fight. So, first round finish. I can't complain. Only thing would have been better if I would have got that 100 bonus. But other than that, man, I'm still happy I got the job done.
Yeah, I thought you were going to get the bonus. A lot of good fights on this card, obviously. Was there more pressure going into this fight because you were coming off back-to-back losses? You didn't look like you were feeling any pressure in there. You look great, but how are you feeling mentally going into the fight?
Mentally, man, I was confident. I was super confident. They gave me time. Like I said, the difference is with even off those losses. You know, I took it on a 2-week notice and a week notice. And, you know, there's been times where I've risked and won on short notice fights too. But that's the thing about fighting on short notice. It's always a gamble. So I was extremely confident because they gave me a little bit more time. And that's really what it was, man. You're gonna get a different chaos when I got time versus 2 weeks or a week. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to see a different chaos when I got 6 weeks or a month or 8 weeks versus 2 weeks or 1 week. You know, and I think that go for anybody.
No, I totally agree. Anything about Nikolai surprise you in this fight? Was he pretty much what you expected?
I mean, pretty much what I expected. You know, not really surprised me. You know, he wasn't in there too long. Yeah, it wasn't not really that surprised me for real.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you had your buddy Jamahal Hill in your corner. I know Jamal's still recovering. How good was it to have his voice in the cage with you?
Man, it's always good to have Jamal, man. It's a blessing, man, to have him there. And I'm just happy. I also shout out to him, man. Today is his birthday, man. So happy birthday to my guy.
There we go. Got to do that. You know, this card was interesting, obviously, because we had the MVP event, the Ronda Rousey card as well. Did you notice there wasn't as much attention on this card, or were you not even thinking about that?
I wasn't even thinking about that, man. You know, all I care about is doing my job. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I know what it feels like to go out here and fight in front of an arena. And I know what it feels like to fight in COVID. I know what it feels like to have a #1 knockout on SportsCenter. And it don't matter if one person watching me or a million people watching me. You know, as long as the work being done, the work gonna speak for itself. And one thing about it, when we're on them cameras, the cameras and the work always gonna speak for itself. So that's something that's always going to last. So people are always going to be able to see that, you know. So it don't matter. It really didn't bother me none. You know what I'm saying? I was able to go out here and do what I came to do, and that's really what matters the most. You know, there's gonna be other times where I'm on a bigger card, or you know. So this is not the last time.
Did you catch any of the highlights from the card? Obviously, the main event lasted like under a minute.
Oh, yeah, I did, man. You know, after the fight, I went to my boy Jamahal house, and you know, he had both fights on. I was really more so paying attention to the UFC, man. I was seeing who I was up against for that bonus. You feel me? I thought I had it in the bag, but you know, I ain't tripping.
Yeah, no, it's all good. What did you make? Because people are saying the fight was fixed, but obviously Ronda Rousey's got a lot of quick wins in her career. What do you think of people that are calling it like a fight fix?
I don't think it was fixed, man. I just think that, man, I think both of them, they just been out the game for a long time. And, you know, that was just vintage Ronda, and she just did what she came to do, you know.
And what did you think of Ngannou's knockout, too? That guy still's got a ton of power, you know, in his career.
I mean, you know, he's a scary dude, man. I feel like he can knock anybody out, man. I feel like going into that fight, looking at the weight, because, you know, I really wasn't on social media as much leading up to my fight. I was just so locked in. But, like, I did see little stuff, and I seen, like, okay, it's times where, okay, I weighed in, and I might, you know, you scroll Instagram, and you might see this, and you see that. So I seen, like, they was off by, like, 30, 40 pounds. So I was like, oh, yeah, man, that make a difference. So once I seen that, I already knew it was over for him.
Mm-hmm. And just last thing on that card, did you see Nate Diaz, Mike Perry? Obviously, Perry getting the stoppage win there. You know, Diaz, it kind of looked like Father Time caught up to him a little bit in that fight.
Nah, definitely, man. I agree. I agree, man. Like, Diaz, he a legend to the sport. Everybody love him. But definitely Father Time caught up with him, man. Like, but you got to think, man. Like Mike Perry, a tough fight for anybody. But once again, man, I knew that Mike Perry was gonna win that fight. That's why they had him a super underdog, because you got to think Mike Perry actually been out here really fighting, man. He's been out here really putting paws on people, man. Like actually fighting. You know, shoot.
When do you want to get back in there? When would you like to get that next fight? And obviously a full camp too.
Man, ASAP, man. No specific date now, because I messed my hand up a little bit. But man, just ASAP, for real. I got time. We in May, so just as soon as possible, man. What is that? June, July, August, September, maybe. After my hand healed up, and just get back in there.
Yeah, for sure. And any opponents in mind, or you leave that up to your coaches?
I mean, we got opponents in mind, man. I done said somebody yesterday, man. I ain't gonna keep giving him too much clout. He know who he is. But I'm gonna just let the matchmakers do that.
Okay, that's fair. Well, one guy you won't get to fight is Colby Covington. Did you see that he retired yesterday? He's not with the UFC anymore.
I did see that. That would have been an interesting fight. Chaos versus chaos, but I don't know what he been doing. So
yeah, that makes sense. Well, you got to feel happy that now there's only one chaos in the UFC, right? Like you and no more competition with Colby.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you make of this? We got the White House card coming up. We got Topuria and Gaethje. What's your thoughts on that fight? No, a lot of people aren't giving Gaethje respect. What do you think of that?
Man, you gotta get Gaethje respect. I mean, Gaethje is a dog, man. And Topuria, he undefeated, man. So you can't sleep on him either. He done knocked out 3 legends, and those legends is legends. They gonna be in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Them 3 Hall of Famers he knocked out. So I mean, you gotta respect the work, and that's a crazy fight. It's a good fight for real, man.
Who do you give the edge to in that one? Obviously, Topuria is the favorite. Do you think he'll get it done, or do you think Gaethje can pull it off?
Man, I mean, you can't never sleep on the underdog, man. You can't never sleep on the underdog, man. Gaethje a dog, man. Like, it's gonna be a tough fight for both of them. I feel like, So yeah. I can't even call it for real.
No worries. What do you make of Alex Pereira and Ciryl Gane? Who do you see winning that fight, with Pereira moving up another weight class?
Man, it just depends on how the fight goes. For real. I feel like, man, that's another one of them ones, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't sleep on Alex, man, because Alex can knock anybody out. But we seen that Gane, when he fought Aspinall, how he was moving, just that weight, how he moved with that weight, man. We gonna, if I had, like I said, man, that's another one of them ones, man. You just don't know. It's hard to call. If I had to bet, like, I'd probably go with Gane, if I had to. But you can't sleep on Alex, man. He hungry. But, like, just weight-wise, dog, Gane been fighting at that weight. He used to fight at that weight, heavyweight, natural heavyweight. He moved different than a lot of the people that's at that weight division, and even that light heavyweight. So, man, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I just got one more for you because they announced it. Conor McGregor, Max Holloway. What do you think of that fight? Who do you think wins that?
Man, that's fire, man. Like I said, man, you can't never. It's hard, man. Hey, the matchmakers been doing their job. It's hard to go against either one of them, man. But like I said, when I'm as a fighter, as an active fighter, you can't count out McGregor at all, right? He been grinding. He ready to make his return. But it's just like when I look at fights, and it's like Max Holloway actually still been out here active fighting, So I would have to give him the edge a little bit, even though it's at 170. I don't know how that might play a factor with McGregor, but at the same time, if I had to make a call, I had to go with Holloway just because he been more active. But man, McGregor, man, McGregor's McGregor. You know what I mean? He gonna you know what I'm saying? He gonna shut it down. He gonna shut Vegas down.
I know you like staying in Vegas after your fight. How long are you staying there after this fight, and when you heading back to Michigan?
Probably just like a week, man. Just because my hand a little messed up, man. So I just get back to the house, man, just kind of rest up, handle some things, That's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, there's a few. I was gonna say there's a few Michigan transplants out there, right? You got Jamahal, you got Cody Stamans out there. Kenny Cross just fought. He lives in Vegas, right. So got a few familiar names there, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, good crew. Do you think you'd ever do that, where Jamahal kind of splits time between back home and in Vegas? Do you think you'd ever do that, or you like doing everything at home back in Michigan?
I don't mind traveling. I definitely could see myself doing that. It's just like I got more business back home, But as I continue to get more healthy, fight more, I'm trying to set myself up to where I get my investments in order, and I just get myself financially in a place where, you know, I can have stuff being ran in Michigan and just come out here and do what I got to do, you know.
Yeah.
So I definitely can see that happening. You know, I just got to build, you know what I'm saying? Right now, just building the foundation, and it's just a little easier to build it where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I get it. And then kind of on that note, do you have a couple more fights on your contract? What's the latest with that?
Yeah, man, you know, I got another fight on my contracts, and but I was talking to my manager yesterday, man. So he's talking to the matchmaker, he's talking to Shine. We about to put something in motion.
Good, because I was going to say you're coming off a big win here, so you got a lot of nice things to bring to the negotiating table off that win, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I was just going to say, last thing, obviously at the top of your division, Islam's the champ. He hasn't had his next fight booked yet. There's some debate whether it should be Michael Morales, who's undefeated, or Ian Gary. What do you think should be next for the champ? What would you like to see? Who would you like to see Islam fight next?
Man, I mean, really, man, that's you know, that's Sean's job, man. I feel like everybody got a good everybody got a good I mean, everybody got a good, what's the word I'm looking for, man?
They got a good case. It's a really stacked division right now.
Everybody got a good case, man, because you got to think, Morales undefeated. He just beat Brady. Brady beat Leon. You know what I'm saying? And then he fought Morales, and then, you know, Morales beat Brady like that, and he's still undefeated. But then you got, like you said, Ian Gary. Ian Gary been doing his thing, and he beat Prates, but then Prates just did his thing too. So you got, you know, a nice, you know what I'm saying? You got some nice fights to make, man. It's kind of hard, man. You know, I'm gonna leave that up to the matchmakers, man.
No, fair enough. Yeah, no, it is tough decision. I want to see Morales because I think he gives Islam an interesting test with that knockout power. Same thing with Carlos Prates. Those are two guys that can really hit. If someone can, you know, hit Islam, I'm curious to see how that goes. Whereas, you know, Gary, I think Gary would be a good fight, but I think I think Morales is a little bit more dangerous. Same thing with Prates a little bit. It's all about the style matchup, right?
It is about the style. It's about the style for real, and what the fans want to see too, man. You know, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, hey, I'm not going to keep you any longer from your Vegas week here, Khaos. Thanks so much for doing this. If there's anyone you want to mention or any sponsors you want to thank or any social media you want to mention before we get out of here, I'll give you the last word.
Man, no problem, man. Thank you, man. But, you know, just shout out to my team. Shout out to my coaches, man. You know, at Murcielago, Detroit Jiu-Jitsu, Vision Jiu-Jitsu. You know, just everybody that helped me prepare for this camp. And just, you know what I'm saying, everybody that's rocking with me, man. You feel me? Everybody that's rocking with me. Not just the fickle fans, but the people that's rocking with me through the good and the bad. And, you know, and just Bounce Back Ministries in full effect. You heard?